This is the Close the Deal podcast. Today we're solving one problem. I've got a repeat guest with us here named Tom Cox. And Tom, I want to jump right in. What's the most dangerous thing you see business owners doing today?
There's a list of them, but I would say one of the top ones is the time that they give their business and the time that they give their families are extremely out of proportion. Everybody talks about work-life balance. I think that's a myth, and I hate the term. Where we as business owners can be better is if I'm doing business, I need to be doing business. If I need to be doing family, I need to be doing family. Here's the analogy I give. It's extremely difficult to balance on a bicycle. Where do we thrive on a bicycle? When we're going in one direction.
That's right.
I need to be, like Kevin Elko says, I need to be where my feet are. When I'm at home, I need to be at home. When I'm at work, I need to be at work. Emergencies happen on the business side and emergencies happen on the family side. And so we got to be flexible enough to do those things. But where I think that the two sections of people that get neglected in a business owner's life are the spouse, the kids. I got 3 kids, but my wife, Jackie, is the most important person. I tell my kids that, hey, your mom's number 1. You guys are number 2.
Yeah.
Making sure that they know where the priorities sit. That's the biggest thing. But also not trying to live in both worlds at the same time. It's impossible because half of me in business is not going to make a business successful, and half of me at home is not going to create a great family life. So I got to be with them, number 1. I got to teach them, number 2.
Yeah. I go to a men's group on Monday night for my church.
Yeah.
And the leader for that group does a fantastic job, and he's got a sizable business. And this subject comes up a lot. There's only about 6 of us in the group. How do you help people coach through this so they can see? I've always wondered about college football coaches, because when I look at Nick Saban, I'm like, owning a business is one thing, but running a college football team might even be tougher.
I think that people think that teaching your kids and being with your kids has to be this opulent, ostentatious event. When in reality, take advantage of the windshield time going to volleyball practice. Take advantage of the 7.5 minutes that you go to school and take them to school every morning. The small pockets of time consistently compounded on top of each other is where we're going to create great humans. It's not the family trip to Panama City Beach. It's not the trip to Disney. It's the pockets of time where you can teach them about the things in our lives. Now, I'll say this. We're going on a trip for spring break. We're going to spend an hour or 2 hours, 2 of those days, learning about where our family legacy is and our finances and the way our family is run and structured. We're going to do that with my 17, 14, and 10-year-old. We're going to sit down for an hour and a half and just talk through business and life and teach them those things. I teach that at dinner. I teach that on the way to volleyball. We teach that on whatever. Because kids come up with questions and we got to be able to answer those questions. We're fully open about how much money we make. Raindrops make oceans. The little raindrops we can drop on these kids on a consistent basis. Consistency is one of my words. How consistent can we be with our health? How consistent can we be with our wealth, our exercise, and our food? Those things are a product of consistency. And how do we consistently drop information on them throughout their days? When they turn 18 or 19, them suckers are gone.
That's so true. My wife and I don't have children. We often wonder how, because we have both run nonprofits. She still does. It's so easy to get wrapped up, especially in nonprofit world. You feel the mission, like a coach. You feel the mission so much greater than yourself that you're willing to just sacrifice everything. And you have to recharge. We felt that after Katrina, trying to rebuild our city and try to rebuild the seafood industry. And we all kind of looked up 2 years later like, holy cow, we still have a lot of work to do. But we never stopped. We got booked on the adrenaline of a crisis. And that's, I think people fall into. The raindrops are building the wrong pattern. How do you reflect? How do you shine that light? How do you get somebody to see that? Because if you're in it, you don't see it.
Yeah, that's true. Before we had kids, I was working 90 hours a week coaching college football. Even when we got to a different job, we were 70, 75 hours a week. Even the first 3 or 4 years of having kids, that was still 60, 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
I think it's time. The front part of our brain starts to develop over time. We start to get wiser, and we realize that life is short and that we have to take advantage of the time we have with our kids.
Yeah.
It's like having kids. You know, a couple that's never had kids, you can't explain what that experience is like. I got a friend of mine, his wife is 47 and he is 51, and they're having their first kid.
Oh.
Get you some of that. I'm excited as I can be for them, but I'm also sitting there going, I don't understand what they're getting themselves into.
Mm-hmm.
You can't explain it.
Yeah.
Having good people around you is a huge thing too, but also making sure that you are loving and caring for those humans that are sitting in your house
Yeah.
on a consistent basis is absolutely astronomical. And what we do a lot of times is we do it in the guise of I'm providing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm providing. Yeah, you are providing, but this is so cliche,
Yeah.
but they need the provision, but they need us more. They need the human interaction more than they need the dollars.
Yeah. And there's another layer to this too. And you being a football coach, you'll appreciate what I'm going to say. Our health. And if we're not taking care of ourselves too, how can we be?
I'll say this.
Yeah, if we can't be there for our family or for our business, friends.
Things like health, those are the things that we have to do. We have to understand and prioritize those things. And a lot of times those things are unseen. My kids very rarely see me exercise because I exercise from 5:30 to 6:45 every morning. They're not seeing that, but they know that daddy's working out, but they never see it.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of things in life where we have to sacrifice sleep, sacrifice time, have to sacrifice hobbies because crap got to get done, bro. Like you got to get stuff done. And sometimes you're going to have to do it when your kids are sleeping because you want to be with them when they're not. I'll give you a great example. Our best friends text us on Mondays, hey, y'all want to do date night Thursday night? I walked in the bedroom this morning. I was like, hey, girl, I talked to Jack, my wife. I said, hey, girl, we ain't doing date night. She's like, okay. I said, you're going to be gone tomorrow night. You were gone with the girls last night playing volleyball. We had a family night Tuesday night, and y'all were gone Monday night. And we're going to be gone Saturday night. I said, we need to be at home.
Mm-hmm.
We need to eat together. We need to love each other, and we need to take a night. And she's like, sounds good to me.
Mm.
Being able to prioritize is important. The hardest word in the English language is no.
Yep.
Being able to tell people love and trust,
Mm-hmm.
no, I can't do so-and-so is extremely difficult. I didn't want to tell Clint and Carrie that we couldn't go on date night tonight, but the 4 people in my house are more important than them. Even though I'd die for those people, I had to be with my family tonight.
Al, I appreciate that. I'm going to land the plane right here because I want people to think about that and go back and reflect on that with everything you just said. I think we all get wrapped up into it, especially as an entrepreneur of multiple businesses. You definitely do. How can people get in touch with you?
Yep. So the best place is our website, thomascox.co, thomascox.co. And then we're on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And most of them are thomascox.co. That's COX, thomascox.co. So that's the best place to find us. And you can DM me and email me. My email's on there. So like I'm fully accessible to all those things.
I'm going to ask you a different question at the end. Looking back at your younger self when you were starting out in your business, your career, what guidance would you have given yourself from what you know today?
Hire faster. Hire faster. About 4 years ago, I took a massive step forward in my life and a step back in my finances. So I hired people that better than I was at a couple tasks. Mm-hmm. Now they weren't on day 1, but on day 200, they were better than I was. Mm-hmm. I would have hired faster, made less money quicker, hired faster to have more life for a longer period of time.
Yeah. So folks, that's some good wisdom right there. You're listening to the CloseTheDeal.com podcast. Now, you can go visit CloseTheDeal.com, get the show notes. I'll have Tom's links there. And make sure you subscribe, be intentional, and make today a great day. Bye-bye.